Imagine waking up one night to flashing lights outside your window. You peek through the curtain, and what you see doesn't belong to this world. Now, what if I told you the US Air Force once ran a secret program that investigated thousands of these reports, and not just to calm the public, but because some of them couldn't be explained? Text on screen. Top facts about Project Blue Book. The UFO files of the US government. Segment 1. The spark that lit the sky. Let's rewind to the summer of 1947, Roswell, New Mexico. A mysterious crash. Headlines scream flying saucer recover. Days later, the military claims it was just a weather balloon. But the public, not convinced, this incident lit the match. People started looking up, and what they saw, they couldn't explain. The skies were suddenly full of unidentified flying objects, so the government did what it always does when people panic. They launched an investigation. Cut to vintage footage of 1950s aircraft and radar screens. Segment 2. The birth of Project Blue Book. In 1952, amid Cold War tensions and rising UFO sightings, the U.S. Air Force established Project Blue Book, based at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. Think of it as the X-Files, for the X-Files, a real-life government agency with the job of separating science fiction from national security threats. Over the next 17 years, Blue Book investigated over 12,000 sightings. That's right, minus 12,000. That's like a new case every single day for over a decade. Segment 3. Who ran the show? Project Blue Book wasn't some shadowy group of men in black. It was led by real scientists and military personnel. One of the most famous was Dr. J. Allen Hynek, an astronomer who started as a skeptic. But here's the twist. The more he studied, the more open-minded he became. He even developed a system we still use today to classify UFO encounters: close encounters of the first kind sightings, second kind physical effects, and third kind actual contact. Yeah, that movie title? It came from Hynek. Segment 4. The unexplainable files. Now here's where it gets wild. Out of those 12,000 plus cases, about 701 were officially labeled unexplained. Not weather balloons, not planets, not military jets. One famous case, the 1957 Levelland, Texas incident. Multiple witnesses saw glowing objects that caused car engines to shut down. Police officers reported the same thing. Multiple locations, same night, no clear answers. Another, the 1964 Lonnie Zamora case. A police officer in New Mexico chased what he thought was a car accident. Instead, he saw an egg-shaped craft land, and small humanoid figures beside it. The burn marks were real, the craft gone. Segment 5. Hidden agendas. Many believe Project Blue Book had two purposes, one public, one secret. Publicly, it was about science, objectively investigating the skies. Privately, some say it was about debunking, not discovering. A way to control the narrative, downplay fears, and avoid mass hysteria during the Cold War. In fact, the Condon Report, released in 1969, concluded that further study of UFOs was unnecessary. The government shut down Blue Book the same year. But here's the thing. Researchers like Hynek disagreed with that conclusion strongly. Segment 6. What they didn't want you to know. After Project Blue Book ended, thousands of files were declassified. But some, still redacted, pages blacked out like a government blindfold. And guess what? New sightings kept happening. Hynek went on to found the Center for UFO Studies. Many former insiders later said Blue Book was limited by politics, not evidence. So, were they really looking for truth, or just keeping a lid on it? Segment 7. Blue Book in pop culture. The story didn't end with the files. In fact, it inspired a wave of shows, movies, and conspiracy theories. In 2019, the History Channel launched a series called Project Blue Book, dramatizing real cases with just enough fiction to keep you guessing. But even in fiction, many of the details come straight from the actual reports, radar anomalies, eyewitness testimonies, and official denials that seem too rehearsed. Segment 8. What it means for us today. Fast forward to now. In recent years, the US government has officially released UFO videos and acknowledged the existence of UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. And what's wild, some of these modern sightings line up with the kinds of reports Blue Book got decades ago. Faster than sound craft with no wings, objects defying the laws of physics, technology that seems impossible. Was Blue Book a failure? Or were they just 50 years too early? Segment 9. Final thoughts. The truth's still out there. Project Blue Book might be closed, but the sky is still open. The real question isn't whether UFOs are real. It's whether we're finally ready to believe our own eyes. And admit, just maybe, we're not alone, because the files, they weren't just reports, they were stories. From real people, across decades, all pointing to the same mystery, one we still haven't solved. What do you think? Was Project Blue Book hiding more than it revealed? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating secrets. Until next time, keep looking up.